Hello, everyone. How are you? Let's go. How are you? Let's have a great time. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I'm National Master James Canty III today with iChess.net. Let's have a good time. Today, we are going to learn about how to play the excellent French defense. I love the French. I've played it all of my life until I was over 2000, and then I started playing other things. But beforehand, first opening, I learned French defense. How are you guys doing out there? Who do we have in the chat today? Who do we have in the chat? Michael M. Pagni. Michael, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Mike Jones. Hello, guys. How are you? How are you? How are you guys doing? So we're going to start with some tactics today. We're going to start with some tactics just to get the brain flowing. And then we're going to get into today's presentation, talk about some chess, have some fun, play some games, look at some games. And I have a surprise for you in the end, guys. A surprise for you in the end. So good to see you all. Good to see you all. So we're going to run through some tactics here and just to see and kind of talk about how these tactics work. So I'm on iChess.net. By the way, make sure you guys are following us on Lichess. On Lichess, iChess.net is our name on there. So let's check it out. Okay, so we're going to start with some tactics as the people come in right now. We're going to wait till everyone gets in. We have a big presentation today. It's going to be fun, so we're going to wait for everyone to get in. Now, we're going to start with this here. I just see Rook F7. That wins on the spot. I'm just picking up a bishop. So that wins. Puzzle failed. Wow, I've just failed the puzzle. How did I fail? Knight F6? I guess Knight F6 first. And then Rook takes. In between moves. They always get you. That's annoying. So next move, next one, we just went down to 2055. So we just got this account going. Let's see what's next. I probably should take this. Maybe not. Rook C2. That looks like that's winning. Rook C2. Yep. And we're hitting this. And he is hitting here. So I have to be very careful. Is that a check? King out of the way. And what? I just take this. Seems fine. And it's wrong. It's wrong again. What is it? Queen D5? I'll take the knight. Take the knight. And then take on E2. Makes sense. Best move. Is there something else? This is not over. This is not over. Okay. All right. Take this one. What do you do next? I have no idea. Knight D5. That's the best move. Oh, this one was hard. This one was really, really tough to face. Wow. Okay. Well, next tactic. We're going to warm up with some tactics, and then we're going to get right into today, guys. Right into today. So bishop takes c4. What is going on the board here? It looks like knight e5 is really good, or is it bishop takes first and then knight e5? Nope, it's going to be knight e5 first. After bishop e2, we take it, removing the defender, and that is not a move. I'll just take this. Yep, and we got some points back. That's fun. Perfect. Next one. Knight f7. Knight f5. What do you guys think? Knight f7, knight f5. Really don't know here. Knight f7, king h7, rook here. Rook h6 for mate. I think that's right. Let's try it. Check. Rook here, mate. So that's a check. If I don't take it, might be wrong. I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna just take it. King takes rook. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We didn't lose points. So bishop takes. What's next? What's next? Rook takes e5. Oh my goodness. Feels like we're in trouble. Pawn takes. No. Rook takes. Or rook d8. Man, this is tough. You got some hard problems on here. Pawn takes. Rook takes e5. Rook takes. That just wouldn't work. So we need an in-between move or something. I don't know. Rook d8, bishop here, though. That's the annoying part about it. It's very annoying. Rook d8, bishop here. And what do we have next? Knight here. If pawn takes, queen takes. I don't know. Any suggestions? Any suggestions on this one? Knight b6. Pawn takes, queen takes. I just don't know. Rook d8, bishop here. Rook takes, rook takes. Yeah, I don't see this one. That's hard. This one's quite difficult. If you have any suggestions, I would love to take them. I will take any suggestions right now. I'm not sure what this one is. There's a lot going on, right? You know, this is hanging. That's the problem. This is the hanging piece. So if we go rook d8, then he just backs it up. I'm assuming he just backs it up. And then what's the next move? Rook takes c5. Okay, so maybe it is rook takes. Yep, rook takes, and then knight f4. Okay, take the queen, take the rook. There we go. We got it. We got it. That's what we needed. That was a tough one. That was really tough. This one was very, very difficult to find. Took me some time on this one because I was definitely saw rook to d8, but he always has bishop to d4, and it just blocks everything, and you kind of don't have an advantage anymore at all. So it's very, very tough to face something like that. So that's pretty weird. That's pretty weird. Let's go to the next one. Let's try another one. E4 and queen g4, or e4 and g5. Queen g4, yeah. And take the knight. That was simple. Cool. That was simple. We're warming up. We're feeling good. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys, right now in the chat. Nice to see you. Today is how to play the excellent French defense. The French defense is very, very awesome. Very dear to my heart. I've played it a long time. And also, we're going to talk about it today and some key points that maybe if you're a French player, if you want to become one, or you had questions about that, we'll talk it and get that stuff answered today. Talking about the French defense. Is there any French players in the chat right now? Has anyone played the French? What do you play now? So is he a GM? I wish, of course, right? Of course, we're just working on that. It's a matter of time. You got to play like one first before you can actually be one. But you do have to get the norms and stuff. I'm actually a national master. Right above me, got the title right next to the name. Good to see you, Bly Latberry. Nice to see you. So queen to h4. All right, queen to h4. That's what happened. So let's check this out. Let's see what's next. So yes, you're a French defense player. Bertram Bugs. That's what's up. French defense is awesome. We're gonna learn some stuff about the French today. I hope you're hyped because I'm always hyped. So let's see what we're going through some tactics right now though. So let's just see what happens. He's a national master. Thank you, Mohammed Hedda. Thank you, man. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream. So we're running through some tactics right now, and then we're going to cover the presentation, talk about the excellent French defense. We're just going to wait. And also, we'll take some challenges in the chat. For many of you guys, you can just challenge iChessNet on Lichess, and we'll take some games, and I'll actually play some French before we get into the presentation today, and actually look at some games as well. So after G6, Queen E5 or Queen H6, what is the best move? I mean, it'd be fun to play queen takes h7, right, with mate on h8, but that's just not a move. It's not a thing. It's not realistic. Queen here is a thing, too, after takes. Oh, man, that fails on the spot. Actually, just take the bishop. It's a free bishop. Just take it. It's just sitting there. And then take it right back, and that's the problem. That's it. Perfect. That's great. I'm so excited. Let's go. I feel your energy from over here, bro. Let's go. What's the difference between National Master and FM? So FM is actually a FIDE title. National Master is only for the United States. Only for the United States of America. So National Master is like 2,200. FIDE Master, you have to be a minimum of 2,300. Now, there are a lot of times that there are very, there are underrated players. For instance, there's some CMs, some Candidate Masters, which are the bare minimum about 2,000 FIDE rated that can crush FIDE Masters. Okay, if anyone knows King Crusher, raise your hand. If you know King Crusher, he's a Candidate Master, but he's basically about 2,500 is his playing strength. Very strong player. So, but he has a CM title. So sometimes it's just, you have to play there first. The title is just a thing sometimes. Until you get IM and GM, that's different. That's the big boy titles. That's what you want. So Sahar says, hi, how are you, Sahar? Welcome to the stream, guys. This is how to play the excellent French defense. We're doing tactics right now. Until enough people get here, then we're going to cover the presentation, talk about some chess, the French defense, play some of you guys, and go from there. Have a great time. I hope you guys enjoy yourself today. So NM, CM, FM, IM, GM, I think in that order. And if you look at it, yes, correct, for because USCF is not looked at as high as FIDE because FIDE is international. It's everywhere. FIDE recognized, right? So National Master is, of course, USCF 2,200, which is still very strong, but of course, based off of FIDE. And it's actually, it would be like CM and an NM because CM you have to be at least 2,000. NM is you have to be 200 points over that first. Fine, thank you, Sahar. That's what's up, Sahar. Let's go to the next problem here. Let's get another tactic and have some fun here. So let's see what this is. It looks like bishop takes after queen takes rook f1. Let's try it. Bishop takes rook f1. That wins. Yep, and we pick up the queen. Thank you so much. Next tactic. You are the dude. Let's go, man. I'll put one up in the air for you, bro. That's right. That's right. I'm going to hit the gym later just because of that. H3 or no. Rook takes d6 is a thing. H3, though. This is interesting. Rook takes d6 is not a move. Oh, this is hanging, though. This is straight up hanging. Am I getting mated is the question. I don't think so, so I'm going to snap this one. And that is a move. Clever. I don't think it works. H3 looks really strong for some reason. I mean, extremely strong. Followed by check and king here. And then what? I don't see anything else. How about F6? Ooh, man, this is honestly not that easy. I think H3 is going to be wrong. If I move the king, let's try it. I'm just going to do it. I think it's wrong. Yeah, puzzle failed. Okay, so let's see what it was. King G6? Are you serious? King G6. Wow. King G6. All right, who's going to play King G6 in this position? Not me, big fella. Not me. F6. F6 was not a thing because of rook E7. I know, Blaya, that's ridiculous. F6, not a move. Not a move. I mean, King G6, not a move. F6 was first, I was thinking that, but he has rook E7, not rook E7, he has rook G5. So this one's interesting. I just don't know how this is going to go, honestly. I'm not into all the checks. If I go here, I might be getting mated myself on the back rank. You can easily get mated just like this. I can easily get mated. So it's, you gotta be careful with F6. And that's where I was like, well, maybe H3 first just to try to lure his king out. And if maybe my queen can come back for a saving move or something. I just didn't know. But King G6 was not thinking of that. Absolutely not. Not today, not tomorrow, not any day. So it's just not going to be a thing for me, big fella. Not going to be a thing. So let me turn this down. Okay. All right, so next puzzle, guys. Next puzzle, we're going to wait till a few more people get in here. Yeah, bro. Yeah, not a thing, bro. Not a thing. So, okay, what's next? G5 looks really strong. I automatically see this. I always tell my students all the time, when you see an X-ray like this, immediately pay attention to it. So, G5, it has to be winning. It has to, yep. And I can just take this. I don't have to sacrifice the rook at all. So, looking forward for the French. Let's go. I know you're looking forward to the French. I'm so hyped today because I used to play the French all my life, all of my life, until I was about 2000. Then I started playing E5, and then after 2200, I started playing the Sicilian. But E5 is E6. The French is so strong, guys. We're going to talk about that today and what you can do and bonuses and fun stuff I have for you at the end of today. So let's look at this. This is very, very awesome. This is a puzzle. We're just going through some puzzles right now just to get the brain working and actually have you guys have some fun with us before we get into the presentation. So continue the training. Here we go. Boom. Knight takes. Rook takes most likely, but because this is here, pawn takes looks very intriguing. Queen C5, rook takes E4. I think I'm fine. I do get a little bit of material here. D5, probably not so much. I think this is right. And then, oh, the queen's hanging. Thank you so much. That was not a move, big fella. I will take that. Have a good day. Next tactic. And bishop takes or queen takes D4 is awesome. Queen takes D4 is actually threatening to take this. It's also eyeing this as well, and this. This has to be the move. And what's next? Do I take this? I think I just take this because this is hanging in the end. There we go. There we go. We got our tactics rating up to 2149 so far. 2149. Where is your tactics rating at right now? Where is your tactics rating at? We would love to know. Love to know what's your tactics rating. Put that in the chat. What's your tactics rating? So, or your highest one, let's say that, because some people may have dropped 200 points. I used to be 2,800 tactics, dropped to 26, and I was like, okay, you know, that's a long drop. So, yeah, 2,800 was my highest. So, rook E1, knight takes D4, knight G5, queen B6. Queen B6 looks good. It looks good. Actually, this one's better because it's no check. There's no check in between. And then we take advantage of the loose piece on the back rank. Very nice. And that puts us at 2156. Very good. About 1,000. That's good, man. 1,000 is still good. Okay, 1,000 is still good. We just got to get it up some more, bro. We just got to keep working on it. Keep working on it. So bishop D2 looks good because if queen takes, knight here. I'm gonna. Oh no, B4. B4 though. Ooh, that's scary though. I don't know. B4 takes bishop D2. This is wild. Absolutely wild. If I go bishop D2 and he backs up, what's the big deal? Really nothing. So let's just go with B4. That's correct. And I take the knight. There we go. We won above 1,500, says Sahar. That's right. That's right. 1,700 tactics rating from Bertam. That's nice. 1,700, huh? 1,700. That's good, bro. Congratulations. Now the goal is 2,000. I have a huge tip for all of you guys in the chat right now. If you are under 2,000, and even over 2,000, honestly, up to you like 2,200 and stuff, that's when you need to work on other parts of your game when you get stronger like that. But at 2,000, you need to study, or under 2,000, I gained 400 points in a month from just studying 3 tactics books. Back in the day when I was 1,500, I broke 2,000 in 8th grade, and I broke 2,200 in high school before I graduated. So you need to tactics man, but you need to have some solid stuff. So you need to have some solid foundations like the French defense. That's what I learned first. And you'll go from there. So cool. All right, guys, we're going to get started. We are going to get started. So are there any French players in the chat? I know we had one. I saw one. Is there any other player in the chat that has ever been interested in the French defense, ever played the French defense with no success, things like that? The French is the first opening that I played, from Muhammad says. Struggling to break past 1600 Lichess Classical. That's okay. We got tips for you. We got tips for you. Which books, bro? It's actually back in the day. Those books are very old, honestly. Honestly, I can't even remember the name of them, but I remember how they look. It was a red one and a white one, and they was exactly the same kind of tactics book. It was a combinations book, but one was white and one was red. They came like together. And then I had another one that was a random one, but I would just run through them. So that's how it was for me. So cool. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we got some things for you guys today. So any French defense players in the chat? If not, that's cool. If you ever been looking, if you just want to sit and watch and not say anything in the chat, that's cool too. We love you, but we want to actually, tell you about the French defense today. And if that is you, you came to the right place. So I hope you have a good time today. I'm National Master James Canty III. Been playing chess 20 years. And National Master when I was in high school, and I played the French a long time. So I'm an advocate for it. I love it. I love playing it, and it is solid, and I always use it when if I just want to get away from everything else I'm playing. So let's get right into it, guys. I prepared something for you guys today, so let me show you exactly what that looks like. And today is going to be how to play the excellent chess with the French defense. How to play some excellent chess with the French. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Is there merit to learning opening tactics? Is it any different than just playing the game and doing whatever I want? Yes, absolutely. You need themes. You need to study the themes, the tactics, and etc. There's a lot you have to do for chess. It's just like training. It's literally just like any sport. If you think about any sports player, basketball, soccer, football, no matter what the sport is, professional athletes, you have to practice in certain areas of your game and spend a lot of time there. For basketball, you got to know how to dribble the ball. So they practice a lot on dribbling the ball. And tactics is a huge thing that you need to practice on your game. You have to. So, yes, I'm ready. Robert E. says, yes, I'm ready. Tahir says, yes, I'm ready. Have been a French player for 5 years now. That's what's up. Keep going. Keep going strong. I got some stuff for you today. So, how to play excellent chess with the French defense. With me, National Master Canty. Now, my goal from this webinar for you guys today is I want to help people like you who want to play the French defense and people who want to have a reliable chess opening for black against e4. So this is what we want. You want to have a reliable opening against e4. And, I want to help you guys play the French defense if you're not already playing, or just give you some ideas without entering the highly theoretical battles of the Sicilian and Ruy Lopez. I studied so much theory when I was younger. So much theory. Playing e5 and c5, even now playing other openings and expanding my repertoire. I studied so much. But I remember in the French when I was much younger, I never had to study as much as I had to for everything else. So it's very, very beneficial to understand that. Now, how does this apply to you? So you can play this opening your entire chess career. There's one thing you need to know about the French, guys. Many things to know. But one thing is that it's irrefutable. You cannot refute the French. There is no article out there, of course they're going to have videos, how to crush the French, how to do this. That's in that scenario. But there is no way that you can refute the French. So it's always good to have something that you can play against forever in your entire chess career and know that it's always going to be solid. Okay, so it's very simple and it's easy to understand. And you can play with the black pieces with more confidence than ever before because you know what you're doing and you trust that it's solid. Now, 3 secrets I got for you guys today. What we're going to cover, number 1, is how to learn the ideas of the opening. Really, any opening, what you're going to learn is actually you can still apply this to any opening, but how to learn these ideas. And then number 2 is how to focus on the main themes of the French. You got to understand that you got to know the themes. The themes are better than just all the moves and the memorization. And then number 3 is stick with the plans and the ideas, even if your opponent doesn't. Who's out there that has that? Where like, oh man, I played a move, or like he played something different than what I studied, and now I don't know how to play chess anymore. If that's you, hey, that's okay. We've all been there before, but we're going to figure out how to stick to those plans and ideas even when your opponent doesn't. Okay, now moving on. So how to learn the ideas of the opening. Okay, so is this you right here? Number 1, you got to know is how we're going to learn the ideas of the openings. You need to remember the pawn structures. And if you can remember simple pawn structures, which you're going to see very soon, in the pawn structures, you can play the French without even thinking. You can play it blindfolded starting today. If you never played blindfold chess, you can learn how to play it today just from the French to French because of the pawn structure. It's very simple and easy to understand. You can actually play it against anything. It's almost no way to stop the first 2 moves of the French, which is very good to know. So, questions you may have: how solid is it, and how can I implement these strategies? We're going to get those answered today. Here's the truth about the French defense. The French defense is considered to be one of the most successful openings and has an excellent score in the chess databases. So if you go check the databases and look at the French, you get to see that it's a little bit higher slightly if you look at the standings or the database for over E5 and E5 and C6, E5 and C6, Caro-Kann and E5. It's like, it's way above, not way above, but it's definitely above C6, which is the Caro-Kann, and also E5. It's just slightly, because E5 is standard, right? Now, secret number 2, how to focus on the main themes. How to focus, yeah, I know, right? It's sick, right? It's ridiculous, really. How to focus on the main themes of the French, okay? So many players think this: I'm not good at memorizing lines. I'm not good at memorizing. I don't want to memorize, blah, 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 blah. Especially in this day and age with prodigies. And, you know, if you talk about the Sicilian Najdorf, you can know it to, oh, I know the Sicilian Najdorf to move 36, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And think about this. Move 36, you always have to count both the moves, meaning your move, you have to count your move and your opponent's move. Those are actually called ply. So 1 move is called a ply. 2 ply equal 1 move. So 36 ply is literally 72 moves. Like, that you really have to think about it. Like, this is ridiculous. 72 moves, okay? So I'm not good at memorizing lines. I understand, okay? Many players might think that, right? But here's the truth. Playing the French does not force you to learn any endless amount of theory, okay? It's more about the plans and the ideas over the moves, and that's for any opening. And here's the last thing before we get into some games and some other stuff I want to show you guys. Stick with the plans and the ideas even if your opponent does it. Okay? Lots of players say, I don't know what to do. When I get out of book, I'm just lost. I forgot how to play chess. But here's the truth about it. The themes and the ideas stay the same. So it will help you not to remember as much. If they play something different, you just keep playing what you know because it stays the same, okay? And the last thing is, you only need to study about 10 hours a week to master these concepts, sometimes even less. It just depends on what you have there. So, and now guys, we're gonna get into some playtime. I want to show you guys some games first of some special people, and then we're gonna play actually live games with the French. If you like to play, I would love to play you on iChess. On Lichess, just send me a challenge on iChess. So, teacher, your sound not boring. It's so energetic. Thank you so much, Sahar. Hey, man, energy's everything, and that's how I love to do things. So let me minimize this. Let's go right back into the play over here, and let's check this out. So let's get into some games immediately. Actually, sorry, I have a study first. I want to show you guys these French games first. So this first game right here is from a big fan of ours and a fan that we all love, the person that you see all the time, okay? We know him, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Grandmaster Damian Lemos. Playing with the black pieces. I'm actually going to flip the board for you guys. So this is a game, you know that he plays the French defense, right? He does. He's played it a long time, and he's actually really strong at it. So I found a special, sweet game that he played here. And let's check out what he did. Let's check out what he did and how he played the French defense here. So he actually played Grandmaster Jacek Tomczak. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but I know he's a Grandmaster, and he's very strong. He's 29 years old. And I forgot where he's from, but he's a Grandmaster, to say everything, right? So GM Damian Lemos is playing black. So let's look at it. E4, E6. We're looking at the French. If you never knew what the French was, this is how we start. The E6. E6 is very solid, very solid, and it's preparing D5. You always got to have intention on your move. So it's preparing D5. Thank you for flipping. Will you cover 1 hour French? We're only going to look at so much today. We may not have time to cover it for 1 hour, but we'll try to look at 1 hour French as much as we can, actually. So E6 was played here, and this is just how the French starts with D5 right after. So after D4, you have D5. Okay, so D5, you get a pawn in the center. That's all it's about. You have to make sure that it's center control. Get some pawns in the center. Just like if you play any other opening, you got to remember the rules stay the same. So what's funny is you can play this against anything. E6 and d5. I used to play it against e4 and d4 because I didn't want to study d4 stuff at the time. I just played e6 because that's all I knew. And I would get similar positions, and I would find myself in the Queen's Gambit decline a lot, not knowing what it was at the time. I just would play e6. So after d4, d5, knight to c3, and knight to f6. Now, bishop b4 would be a win hour right now, actually. Fights Master. Bishop to b4 would be a win hour defense, or of the French here. And bishop b4 is a move. It is a move, and it's actually very strong. It's very tactical. Things happen here. After a3, you could go actually bishop a5 and then c5, or it just depends on what they do. I actually play the win hour myself as white against the French. So bishop b4 is quite dynamic, I would say. I was not a fan of bishop b4 myself. I would always play knight f6. I was always play knight f6 because I just like to develop. Knight f6, and after e5, knight to d7, c5. I was always into these lines, but never into the bishop b4 stuff because I know what I play is white. So knowing I did not want to face what I know and play with white. So I just didn't want to do it. So, you know, I start with everything. I play knight f6. Yeah, more of a classical. I play more of a classical. Absolutely. But if they go knight f6 and bishop g5, if a knight f6 and bishop to g5, sometimes I'll just take it. That's called a burn variation. It takes, we'll actually have a game. I'm not sure. I think I grabbed that one, but Michal Marin, who's the third GM we're going to look at today, is actually plays the burn variation where you go bishop e7 here, and it's a different kind of game. And take this, you can actually take with the pawn, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting, and you play this way. It's very, very dynamic, to say everything about it. So knight to f6 is the move that actually Damian Lemos chose. So we're looking at knight f6 from Grandmaster Damian Lemos. They go e5 and knight to d7. So immediately I'm already feeling great here. Like, I know this stuff. Here's the thing about his pawn structure, and here's a theme. One of the themes to remember in the French is that you have to break this up. You got to break this pawn chain up, and it's beneficial for white to have a pawn here so that when we do go c5 and take this, there's two pawns in the center. It's always beneficial to have two pawns in the center over one. Two pawns over one. So remember that. So if you ever see somebody mess up in the French and they go like knight f3 early on, and we get c5 and we're able to take it and leave them with one pawn in the center, that is a slight advantage, whether you like it or not. So knight d7, f4, very strong, and then c5, automatic. You got to make this pawn break. If you can remember this pawn structure right here, you know how to play the French. At like maybe 50%, okay? I'm not going to say you know how to play the French 50% because there's a lot left. Ideas and plans and themes. But this right here is 50% of the way. So that's pretty good. So c5, after c5, that's correct. Knight f3, after knight f3, I have knight to c6. Blyett Berry says, I always scared this pawn structure at the beginning. Yeah, this is not a scary pawn structure. You never want to be afraid of this. Never want to be afraid of this. The French is so solid and dynamic and irrefutable. You can't just crush the French. I mean, you can. It has to be black playing, making not the right moves. But this pawn structure as black is very good to understand. You have to know that you got to break this pawn center up. It is your sole job to break up a pawn center when your opponent has one, and vice versa. So having this kind of thing, knight to c6 is really good, so you're able to capture this. So Damian Lemos, Grandmaster opponent, plays bishop to e3. This is actually still theory, still book stuff. So you have bishop e7 and queen b6. You also have a b6 line, which is more of the Jörg Meyer kind of stuff, if you know who that is. But bishop e7 is what he chose. I like this move. It's just about the castle. Damian Lemos is like, I just want a castle. Why not just get out of the way? So castle makes sense, and also it's still theory. You can also lock the board up, but really you could take this as well. So when is it too early to bring the queen to b6? So when is it too early to bring the queen to b6? That's a great question. That's a great question. I think it's based off the position. It's really not a rule for that. It's really not a rule for that. I think it comes with experience, and you need to get coaching or like see it done from other great players, many games and experience, which I'm going to give you guys that at the end today. But you know, queen b6, you have to know when to play it, or else it's either too early or it's too late, and that's kind of a gray area, to say the least, on that one. Okay, cool. Interesting opening. Never played it. Oh, nice, Martin. Oh, well, shoot, man, you're going to learn some stuff today. If you got any questions in the chat, absolutely put them in there. We'll get them answered for you today. How to play the excellent French defense, which is with the black pieces. After bishop e7, bishop to e2. So after bishop e2, he goes castle. Now, you could capture this too and things like that, but I'm okay with castling. You just got to get out of the way. You got to castle, and that's what Damian Lemos did. After castle, we have queen to d2. So white's playing very flexible. Not sure where he's going to castle. Honestly, if he goes this way, he might have some real big issues with this pawn storm. That's almost an undeniable pawn storm. Like, it's just going to happen, right? So, you know, what scares me in the de-isolated pawn in the burn variation. Oh, for white. You mean for white? You mean playing it as white? Are you saying you're scared of it? Are you scared of the isolated pawn when you're playing black? Or are you scared of the isolated pawn when you're playing it with white? If white takes, do you immediately capture with the knight? That's a great question, actually. If pawn takes, if castles and pawn takes, I like taking with the knight. I like taking with the knight. But also you could take with the bishop. I just like keeping my knight here because I want to keep this bishop for later purposes. Not sure what I might need it for later. I'm not sure. So I just keep it here. And I'd rather do this and then maybe even hope for aspirations of this. Or b6, bishop b7, put the knight here later. There's a lot of ideas. A lot of ideas. On c4, if white takes c5, right? a6. a6 is a possibility, Sahar. a6 is a possibility. It's good that you guys are getting this out now because these are all ideas and possibilities that is almost unstoppable for your opponent, actually, in the French. There's like almost no way for them to stop you doing what you want to do in the French. That's actually a very, very powerful process. So after castle, queen d2, a6. Look at that, Sahar. Look at that. a6. That's what Damian Lemos played in this game, so shout out to you. a6 and a3 and then b5. Very nice stuff. b5. Look at all this space I have as black here. I'm castled. Okay, honestly, black is slightly better already. I'm castled. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I got my pawns out. My pieces are coming out behind them. But you have to remember one thing when you're playing the French. One huge thing, and that is this bishop is terrible. You're always going to have usually a light square bad bishop problem. And if you are going to have that problem, you got to figure out, am I going to get it out early with like try to get my bishop to a6 later on to trade it? Or am I just going to put it on bishop d7 or b7 and kind of hope for the best and play around and shuffle and see what happens? But let's see. How do you typically force a trade of your light square bishop? Will you cover that? Oh, absolutely. That's actually what we was just talking about right here. Something like b6, by the way. And then followed by a5 and bishop to a6. Bishop to a6 to get rid of his good one for our bad one. So that's a good thing to note. That's an excellent thing to note. And also the other thing is just putting it on b7 and then maybe figuring out, you know, after you break this up, then you'll be able, it's like a long-term plan. The bishop will sit here for a long-term plan because you're not going to get it out for the next 2, maybe even 3 moves, maybe even 4. But long-term, it's going to open up. That's what you look for. Realistically, that is a plan, but this is the plan to go for the most. There's one more plan, actually, sometimes you face when you put a bishop on d7, you back the bishop up to e8, and after you played f5 or f6, you put the bishop on this diagonal. That's a whole nother kind of way of doing it. So that's what you got. When I'm playing with black, oh, you're scared of the isolated d pawn. You shouldn't be afraid of it, and you need to know how to. I think you need to. I recommend looking at how to. I recommend how to stop an isolated pawn. Like, you got to figure that out. And what you would have to do is put a piece in front of the isolated pawn first, and then attack it. Trade the pieces that defend it, which is one of the best ways to defend or attack actually an isolated pawn is to trade the pieces that defend it and put pressure on it. I used to know the knight sack in this line, says Purdue. Oh, really? The knight sack. There's actually something similar, so pay attention. Pay attention. There's about to be something similar that's about to happen. So we're playing, by the way, if you're just getting here, this is how to play the excellent French defense. I'm National Master James Canty III. The game we're looking at right now is Grandmaster Jacek Tomczak versus Damian Lemos. Playing with the black pieces as he loves to play the French himself. Let me actually fix the board up here a little bit. Fix this. Cool. Okay. So let's look at the next move. After queen to d2, a6 was played. Then we saw a3 and then b5. So already, I mean, I'll be very scared to castle this way. So you're kind of forcing his king to go this way. Pawn takes, and here we go. Bishop takes. So he actually took with the bishop in this game. Blyat, you see that? Knight, instead of knight takes, which is very well moved, he took with the bishop. So after bishop takes, he played b4, grabbed some space. Bishop takes e3, queen takes, and boom! Something's about to happen. Watch this. Bishop b7, castles, and Damian Lemos made a move right here. That was like, oh, it was like, you know, anyone seen a water bottle flip challenge when you flip the water bottle and it drops, right? It was one of those, like, it just, you felt the energy after this move. Black to move. Damian Lemos made a move right here that shocked his opponent. What is the move? You have to remember the French defense is not just one of those, oh, it's okay, or it's passive. It's not. It's actually very solid, and it has some tactical blows if you're not paying attention. And that's what happened here. Thank you very much for explaining, says Mohammed. No problem, man. No problem. Absolutely. Black to move, guys. What would you play here? Black to move. Pawn to d4. says Fitchmaster. D4 is a move. But then after knight takes, queen takes, we didn't get much. We actually didn't get anything. We actually gave up a pawn. We actually, okay, we opened the bishop. We could say that. That's about it. Open the bishop up. But there's besides that, it's just not a good move. Here is the move that Damian Lemos came up with. Can you show the c5 variation of the Turash with queen takes d5 after e takes d5? There's actually a game that Michal Marin played. I recommend you check it out. We probably won't cover that one today, but we will be looking at some other ones. Here is a very critical moment. Knight to b3, knight to b6 is what you mean to go in here. That's a good move, actually. Queen b3. Everybody getting it's b6, guys. It's b6. Okay, it's b6. But no, not b6. Did he take the pawn with the knight? He did. He did, Blyat. He hit him right here. Boom. Oh, my goodness. Drop the mic or drop the pencil after you write down your move on the board. Or, on the notation sheet. Knight takes. Boom. He took it. Oh, my goodness. He just took a pawn. Whoa. What just happened? That just happened on the board. Check this out. Because d4, well, you had the right intention here. You had the right intention with d4. Because d4 would work if we had another piece defending it. But because we don't, it's an issue. So, knight takes. Knight takes d5, f takes e5. Boom! d4. I'm getting a piece back, whether you like it or not. I'm getting a piece back. Queen here, pawn takes, bishop d3. He's threatening mate. So this is the thing you really have to watch in the French, is know where your weaknesses are. Every opening has a weakness. And in this one, it's usually this diagonal if you're not careful. I mean, sometimes you could be sacked on if you're not paying attention. But g6 a lot of times stops that. A lot of times. So, and what do you think Damian Lemos played? g6. So now looking at this, if a dark square bishop for white was on the board, oh my goodness, you're going to be in some trouble. You're going to be in some trouble. You might as well resign right now, big fella. It's just not going to be a thing. Today's not your day. If you had a dark square bishop for white, but because there's not one, it's okay. Everything's good. So playing g6 is good here. This is covered. I'm fine. And even king g7 holds the dark square. So I'm feeling really, really good here. Also, I have this strong bishop that was bad. Remember, we talked about how do we get the bad bishop out? We put it on b7. And then actually you can open it up later in this kind of fashion. And let's see what happens. So h4 was on the board. Let me answer the chat. You remember this? Nice. Wow, yes. If he captured with the knight, it would have worked, huh? If he recaptured with the knight, it wouldn't have worked. Yes, that's correct. It would not have worked. Yes, sir. So h4, queen e7, knight g5. So he's trying to attack him however he can. And what's funny is I do this myself, so I know what he's going for. I know what he's going for. So because this knight needs to get to this square to be able to do some kind of damage. Because push the pawn and he captures the knight in queen trade. Correct. Thank you. That's right, Bright Knight. That's right. So rook d8. Queen f4, and his knight is swinging around this way. It's always about the maneuver of the pieces. These are two grandmasters in their element fighting in the jungle right now. Something's going on, so you know exactly what he's about to do. But at the end of the day, we are up a full pawn with the black pieces playing a French defense. So we have to figure this out. What do we do? Damian Lemos says knight d4. I cannot allow you to bring your knight in here, so as soon as you put it here, I'm going to take it as fast as you moved it there. So he did not want to do that. So queen to g3, he put queen g3 on the board. And I'm not sure what this move was even about, but queen to g3, knight f5. So he kind of, this is a good thing to know in the French. Actually, trades are welcomed. Trades are absolutely welcomed. Just like in the Caro-Kann, they're cousins. French and Caro-Kann are actually cousins. But it's very good to know that trades are very, very well placed for black. Just like in the Sicilian, a French Caro-Kann, trades usually help the player playing black. So it's a good thing he played knight f5. Pawn takes, a bishop takes, pawn takes, and at this point, I'm feeling great. Open bishop versus a knight in an open game, by the way. Okay, this is a weakness. I got two rooks, open file. I'm up a pawn temporarily because I'm giving his back. And also, you have to remember this. I know him being a grandmaster, him being the monster that he is, Damian Lemos, right? He is already thinking, and this is how you should be thinking too when you're playing any kind of opening, but especially the French. When you're playing this, you got to know, okay, what kind of in-game am I about to go into? In-games usually favor the French defense because you don't have many weaknesses and stuff like that. This one's a little bit different because it got dynamic. We got double pawns and stuff. But this is very bad for his pawn structure as well. White just doesn't have the most coordinated pawn structure, to say the least. So rook takes f5. That was strong. Oh my goodness, rook takes f5. If you take this, you might as well just start a new one. I mean, you might as well just go home. Today's just not your day, big fella. That was not a move. King h8 and queen g7 mate. That's a sweet mate to do, by the way. So he grabbed his pawn back in a little bit of style here. and a little bit of style. And now the thing about the French is after, you know, you think, hey, it's very solid and I'm just going to play solid. But the funny thing is that you can play solid only so much until you got to start playing tactical. That's with every opening, and especially the French because it has so much dynamicism to do that. Rook takes f5, black to move. What would you do? You can't take this. That is not a move unless you just want to give up. That's totally fine. But that's not a move here. So what else would you do? Damian Lemos grabbed his piece and played what? Queen c7, says Bright Knight. Queen c7, that's cool. That's an okay move. Not the move that he made, though. It is a move, though. Not the move he made. Attack the queen with the rook. Rook d3, okay. So, hey, that is a move, but, I mean, we, you know, don't jump off the deep end today. Like, maybe we probably want to wait a little bit. You know, maybe not this game. Okay, we want to have our sanity here. Rook d3 is not a move. You just take it. Rook d7, rook d2, and king move, actually. That is correct. It's actually rook to d2. That's exactly what he did. He put the rook on d2. Man, that's scary. That's very scary. You cannot afford, most times, to give up the 7th rank. Think about how many games you lost with a rook on the 7th rank. Think how many games you won with a rook on the 7th or 2nd rank, basically. But Duval Davis, what's up, man? Good to see you. Rook Davis, attack queen with the rook. That's right. So check this out. I meant that. That's what you meant. Okay, rook to d2. So rook f2, and he plays h6 to kick the knight first before he follows up with bishop to c8. Now he's just about to play some dynamic stuff here. Just, you know what? Just take it. And remember, in the French, it's okay to trade. So instead of him playing like super dynamic here and just start doubling up at other things, which he could have done, he just said, you know what? I'm going to take this. I need to get rid of this or reroute my bishop and put it on f5 maybe later. Maybe even e6. Let's see what happens. So queen takes c3, rook takes f2, knight takes, and bishop f5. So we put our bishop on a beautiful diagonal, eyeing c2. Also rook to c8. Out of nowhere, we went from like just a endgame to like black's just winning this endgame now. Black is winning this endgame. So let's see how Damian Lemos finished this off in fashion. Queen to d4, rook to c8. Knight e4, takes. We love to trade in the French. We love to trade. He follows up with queen a7 check first. Just wanted to see what he was going to do. If he goes king h1, I probably can drop in with queen f2, followed by rook to c4. Just have a nice day. Actually, I have rook c4 on the spot. So if king h1, rook c4, have a good day. Like, you can just start over. It's really over. Actually, he has queen e1, but still, this is very passive, and it's going to lose very, very soon. Very soon. So instead of that, we can actually, he actually did something else. So king f1, king f1 instead. And after king f1, rook to c4. That was it. And that was it. I mean, literally, that was it. He just gave it up. He just gave it up. So how do you guys feel about that? How do you guys? What does White do? What do you even do here with White? What would you do? Did he resign? Yeah, he just resigned right here. It was over. He was like, I'm done. I don't want any more, guys. Not today. Why is this losing though? It's exactly what he did. He just resigned. But I mean, honestly, it's just straight up losing. It's straight up losing. If he does anything like queen e2 or queen f3, all these moves are just losing because his rook is out of play. So the queen can get very close. And I guess if queen f3 probably is the best move, honestly. But rook takes is a little bit miserable. We do have a rook back rank check. King e2, he can run around. So it was a resignation here, though. But maybe we can even take on c2, too. I mean, this is miserable. This is very miserable to be playing. So... because he can only do passive moves? Yeah. I mean, I believe so. I mean, he just gave it up. It was just kind of over. So, that was it. And this was the first one. This was the first game, guys. This was the first game of the French defense. With the man. Damian Lemos playing with the black pieces. That was very, very fun to watch. Versus, or actually, Jacek Tomczak, Grandmaster, versus Damian Lemos. Now, let's look at the next game. Next game is another two GMs. Two Grandmasters, Oliver Ginzing versus Fabian Lebezewski. So both of these guys are Grandmasters. Fabian is very strong, and I actually have a bonus for you guys at the end with Fabian. So let me actually flip the board So we can look at it and see what Fabian did, because he's a French player too. Another Grandmaster playing the French. Check it out. Starts just like this. This is how the French happens. Knight f6. Another one. Just like Knight f6. I love playing the Knight f6 move. Bishop g5. And boom, there it is, a burn variation. Burn variation. Here's that isolated pawn that you was talking about before Sahara, I think. I think it was Sahara. Somebody was talking about the isolated pawn. I don't remember who, though. But isolated pawn. So, and here we go. Knight takes e4, bishop to e7. I think it was Muhammad. But knight takes f6. So after knight takes, pawn. Oh, he took with the bishop. He took with the bishop, and you could have taken with the pawn as well too. But remember, trades help. Trades help black. So bishop takes, queen takes. Honestly, at this point, black is already equal. Already equal. Why is that? Because honestly, the rule is, yeah, you don't want to bring your queen out early, which is fine. You don't want to bring your queen out early, but look at this. You don't want to bring it out early when there's problems, when there's like, it can be attacked, like bishop g5 or knight e4 or something of that nature, because there is no way to do any of those things. Like it's fine having the queen here. So after bishop to d3, we play c5, aggressive, still sticking to the themes. Remember, that was secret number 3, sticking to the themes and the ideas, basically. The plans, c5. You still got to play this anyway. Probably still put the knight on c6, and the bishop is still bad, just like a regular French. So we just got to play the same stuff. c5 is really good, so if he takes, I grab 1, 2, and we just stir some stuff up, make these pawns double. Very excellent move. Knight f3, he played knight c6, put some more pressure on this pawn. Black's already in the initiative at this point. So pawn takes, queen takes, double pawns, and I got a pawn back as well. White is almost losing out of the opening. 2 Grandmasters, this is move 10. So castle, queen c3, knight to g5. He's trying to play aggressive right now, anticipating the castle, and also going back for knight e4 to threaten the queen and c5. I mean, that was a strong move he made there. So, you know, queen takes c5, he just got rid of it. Like, you know what? I'm just going to take it and dare you to take this. I just don't think that's an excellent or smart move to do, but he didn't take it. But he played queen h5 instead. Now, if you're playing the black pieces right now, this is looking scary. This is looking very, very, very scary. Very, very scary. Now, being a defense wizard, as most Grandmasters are, what do you think Fabian, Mr. Libazuski, played here? Black pieces, you can't castle. I mean, you scary. You looking pretty scared here. What do you do? What do you do? Queen to h5. What do you do? G6 from Patrick. G6 from Patrick. He says, just play G6. Sahar says H6? Question mark. H6. H6 was the first thought, right? Oh, H6. But then, hey, man, hey, look, you know what? Today's just not today. Okay, you can. That's not a move. You can just start a new one. Checkmate. Have a good day. It's not a move. H6 is not a move. Queen E7 is a move, but actually G6. Why G6? And you were correct. Actually, you were correct, Patrick. G6 is excellent. G6 is excellent. Number one, you know, it's hard to face somebody that threatens you every move. Try to make more threats. Tip of the day, try to make more threats. You know, G6, it threatened this queen. Makes him do something. So now the queen has to also protect this knight because I'm threatening this knight. So he plays queen h6. This queen cannot stay here that long. You have to go. So Mr. Libaluski says queen f8. Queen h4 and queen back to e7. I'm ready to trade. I'm also really threatening h6 right now. So you need to be careful. So queen to g3 stepped out of the way. And then we finally castle. Doesn't this look familiar? Just like from the Damian Lemos game when we got these dark square weaknesses and a pawn on g6. Stopping all of the stuff that he has going on. And then the rest of it is just trades and have a solid game and win this game. Let's see what happens. Rook b1. We play f6. You got to go. You're doing too much. Not today. Knight e4 and e5. That beautiful play here. Bishop to e6 is going to follow. Queen defends the pawn. Rook gets in the game. Out of nowhere, a lot of times, white's relentlessly attacking you in the French in the beginning, and then you're like, you just like stop it all. And then everything starts to come back. And then out of nowhere, you're just winning the game. F4, F5, that's a beautiful move, followed by E4. Watch how this is about to get crazy, though. Knight to G5, E4, check. Whoa, man, looks like I'm in some trouble or something, right? King G7, all this checks. Like, it looks scary, but it's not at all. Didn't think he solved all that. Wow, didn't think he solved all that. Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's so funny. It's like they call them paper tigers. It's like it looks scary, but it's really nothing at all. Especially when you calculate it. The only way to check to see if something is correct or scary or not is through calculation. There's no other way. So after F5, knight g5, e4, check, king g7, queen to e3. If queen check, we just play queen f6. We trade. We want to trade. Remember, trades help us. So after queen e3, h6. I mean, this knight has jumped around so many times this game. He's also have no home, no future at this point. Once you go here, I mean, where you going this way? That's going to take a long time. That's going to take a long time. At this point, I got bishop e6. Maybe not right now because this rook is absolutely devastating. So what did he play? b6. Just to play bishop e6 later. And then rook d8 and everything else. So we can see the moves from under the cam on the right. That's right. You should be able to. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yep. Black is safe on the dark squares. That's right. That's right. So b6, rook d1, and bishop to e6. So after bishop e6, there's bishop b5, and then rook c8. Rook c8 just to defend. Makes sense. And also take over this file. If you notice, this endgame is just very, very fun for black to play. Black went from like, I have a bad bishop and I'm getting attacked to like, yeah, this endgame straight up winning. It's just winning. Everything's winning. That's how it is. The French is really, really like that. Queen c3, queen f6 to, wait, trades help us. Absolutely. Queen a3, knight a5. Here we go. Knight c4 is a move. Rook takes c2 is a thing. Queen c3 is a move. We got a lot of moves here. This is getting really bad for the white pieces out of nowhere. Even rook d8, if we just want to play solid and just like, you know what, let's take over the file. Let's like challenge the file. Rook d8, rook d6, and rook d8. That's what he played anyway. Rook c4, and then rook takes, knight takes c4. Thank you, and queen b8. I mean, this is scary. This is scary. This is hanging though. This is hanging. So he plays check, king h1, queen d7 to defend, and we got two more moves here. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much, James. No problem, man. No problem, sir. So after knight to f2, queen to c7, and white ends up resigning. He ends up resigning. Because this game, you know, after a while, you don't have to resign in these kind of positions, especially as a grandmaster and stuff too. But I mean, look, you know, this is just straight up loss. Honestly, it's very miserable to play this. It's very miserable when you go down this much material. 3, 6, 3, 4. Black's down 2 pawns. His knight's terrible, and this is weak, and I'm past pawns everywhere. Hey, walking the dogs in the park everywhere. Like, it's just really, really bad. And he just ended up resigning. I had to play the Carol Khan first to fall in love with the French. It says Duval Davis. That's right. Yeah, Carol Khan's nice. Karpov loved it, actually. That's why they called him boa constrictor. Everybody hated to face Karpov in that because it would be slow and drawn out and make people make mistakes because it's boring. But the French is always solid, and you can never do it. Who is this guy? Seems like he knows his stuff. What's up, Evan? Good to see you in the chat, bro. Evan's in the chat. We're happy to trade pieces and resign. Correct. Yeah, he could just trade and resign. This is over. Fabian Libazuski wins this game. It's a wrap. That one's over. Now, final game before we get into some French games and some other announcements for you guys. Mihail Marin. Mr. Marin, tactician, strong player, grandmaster. Let's go. Hello from Texas. What's up, man? Busho, how are you? From Texas in the building. So let's flip the board and let's see what happens. Black to move. Okay, so black's going to do it's actually he's playing the French. So Mihail Marin's playing the French against Christina Adela Foiser. So e4, e6, d4, d5. French, same moves, same stuff, no matter what they play. e4, e6, or no matter what you do, e6 and d5. French defense. After knight to d2, this is the Tarrasch variation. This is a favorite of Garry Kasparov. He loved to play the Tarrasch defense, actually. Loved to play the Tarrasch. So knight to d2. Bobby Fischer would actually play the, what is it? The King's Indian attack, actually. There's a video I actually did. It's like, just go find it on the YouTube channel here. But I did a video on that where you can check that out, Bobby Fischer and some games in the King's Indian attack about what Bobby Fischer played against this, against the French defense. But this is the French defense right here. Knight d2 is the Tarrasch variation. The rating of Christina Adela Foiser, by the way, is 2349. So she's very, very strong. 2349. So Mihail Marin's rating at this time is 2531. I played in French as black. Thanks. I'll be paying good attention. Thank you, good sir. No problem, Busho. No problem, man. I got some bonuses for you in the end. Knight d2, c5. c5 anyway, no matter what. Most times, and even some of my students that play the French, they get in trouble because this is so simple that there is only like one time where you're not supposed to play c5. And that's really right here. When they go knight c3, you're not supposed to go c5 because you end up losing a pawn. Pawn takes, pawn takes, and queen takes. And you end up losing a pawn out of the opening. That's just not what you want to do. But the funny thing is that almost anything else you can play c5 in. Anything else in the French. So knight d2 is no different. c5, pawn takes. Or actually, take the queen here. And this is the one actually, earlier in the chat today, someone mentioned it. I think it was Can't remember who, but queen takes d5 actually. Queen takes d5, he wanted to talk about that. But queen takes, this is a different alternative. This is a tactician, by the way. Michal Miran's very strong. He likes tactics, and this is an alternative line. You could play queen takes d5, you could also do pawn takes, but pawn takes, you got to know how to play with an isolated pawn if he allows you to have that. If you go for this, you got to know how to play with an isolated pawn, which sometimes if you're not comfortable, you don't know how to do that. Queen takes d5, so watch how Michal plays this so you know how to play it as well. I hate playing against the trash. Oh man, watch this. Watch how he plays it. Queen takes d5, knight f3. That's a logical move, makes sense. Pawn takes d4. I'm just about to take this free pawn. Why not? Bishop to c4, that's a nice developing move, hitting my queen about to castle. So he moves the queen back to d6. I'm just not going to give you the pawn back. Why would I? You gave it to me for free. So after castles, knight f6. I'm just still up a pawn, by the way. Knight b3. Now we go knight c6. Okay, we got to give the pawn back, but at least we got some development going. I always play Sicilian defense, but I feel French is also very well, and I'm going to play the French. Absolutely, man, and we have some stuff for you on that. Is the French defense a good player to learn as a 1,000 player? Yep, actually, I was about 1,000 when I learned how to play the French, actually. So, absolutely, Patrick, absolutely. I played it up until I was 2,000. So, knight to c6 and knight takes c5. I mean, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, knight takes an a6. a6 is right after. After this a6 move, we have a4 on the board. So a4 and a6, what this is about, he's just stopping anything coming into b5, checks or knights, anything. It's just annoying when that happens. So what to against two knights as a French player? Oh, what to do against two knights attack? Two knights attack as a French player. That's a good question. Two knights. We'll have to look at that. We'll have to look at that. I have to see what you're really talking about there. Two knights attack as a French player. Because it's not really classified, and I don't really know anything classified as a two knights attack in the French. But we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at it. So okay, so a6 is on the board. A4, queen c7. He's hitting the bishop now. Bishop is now attacked. Queen e2 and bishop d6. We just got to get our pieces out. Everything's always the same. You have to develop your pieces. H3. How to play with the isolated pawn, please. If you go back, we'll actually check that out briefly. Play with an isolated pawn. Playing with an isolated pawn goes down to this. When you have, and plus it's also going to be covered as well in this material I'm going to give you guys in the end. It's going to be covered about how you should be playing if you want to go that route. But knight d2, c5, if there is here takes and you take with the pawn. E takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. How you play with this is you have to play dynamic. You have to play very dynamic. So the more dynamic you play, the better it's going to be. The more dynamic you play, the better it's going to be. So but bishop takes c5 and actually something like maybe knight e7. This is a plan. Knight e7. Why knight e7? Because I don't want to be pinned on knight f6. If I go knight f6, remember when you have an isolated pawn, you know their job is to trade pieces and attack this pawn. So I'm gonna go knight e7. So if he does get bishop g5, I'm gonna get f6 in and try to keep it as much as I can. Knight f5, d4, knight c6, stuff like that. You got to play not off the wall, but different than regular chess, honestly. So you know. But we're going to lose it. Dynamic, but we're going to lose it. Well, if you got the tactics right, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But you won't lose it if you know what you're doing. That just takes experience. That's the best way to put that. So, okay. So, back to where we were. Pawn takes, bishop c4, and castles, knight f6, knight b3, knight c6. Okay, knight e5, takes. A6, here we go. Queen c7, bishop d6, h3 castles. Okay, so here we are. Rook d1, bishop check, and bishop f4. This was also very interesting to me. Just to do this, what this move is about. Can anyone explain this move? Can anyone try to explain this move? I mean, this move right here, it's just a check, and watch this. He goes here and here. But I need someone, or someone try to explain what this move was about. Would it be a good idea to ever go d4 as black here at some point? Yes, actually. Yes, at some point. At some point. King in the corner, says Daniel. King in the corner. Absolutely. And why is this good? Why is this so good? Make the king move. Why is the king in the corner a thing, Daniel? Like, why? Can you explain to the chat? Why is it a thing? If an in-game, the king needs to use more moves to come to the corner, losing a tempo in the in-game, put the bishops out to remove the defender of f2. You are correct. You are correct, Daniel. Losing the tempo, he must be strong. What's your rating, Daniel? What is your rating? That was very good. And actually, somebody else said something too. Make the king move, king in the corner, make the king move. Yep, that's correct. That's very, very good. I think that was very good. That's correct. So in an in-game, remember, in-games help who? French players. That's what it does. So most times we you know, not that we're winning, but we like an in-game. So we definitely are going to go into an in-game. No problems. Don't even ask twice about it. About 1900. Nice, man. Nice. Must be much stronger than that. So very good stuff. That's correct. So once we start trading pieces, the king takes extra time to get to the center in an in-game. That's very important. That's deep understanding of chess, which the French should help you do that. Bishop e3, bishop d7, get this out. Maybe bishop c6, aspirations of it later. Bishop b3, rook d8, get our last piece into the game, defend our bad bishop or whatever. And bishop c6 is coming later, especially after a move like e5. So c3, rook to e8, everything's all solid here. Bishop c2, bishop takes, queen c5. That was an interesting move. I really honestly may have played e5 myself, but queen to c5 is what he chose here. I guess just tying the knight down and ready to trade. h6 first, stopping any type of queen g5s or any type of nonsense. Definitely trade because we welcome those. Put a knight in the center, and now look at the pawn structure. Pawn structure. GM Daniel. Yeah. Yeah. GM Daniel in the chat. Knight d5, king f2, f5. f5 is very strong with f4 following, maybe rook f8 or even e5. Black is now the one calling the shots. This knight is kind of misplaced in a way. Strong square, but it's only temporary. Knight c5, bishop c8. Look at that. Only temporary with b6 to follow, defending this and defending this. So she plays a5, strong move, stopping b6 because I'm going to kick you if you allow me. So king to f7, bishop here, rook f8. Some maneuvering going on here. Definitely want some trades. King to e7. e5. Finally get this in. We're mobile and we're more active is what I would say. Absolutely. Boom. And now we got a dream, not a dream position, but close. We are in an in-game. I mean, you love an in-game in the French, honestly. It's always solid. I've never really had, I'm not the guy. I am not the guy that loves to go to in-games. That is not me. My favorite player is Tao. But in the French, I'm okay with going into an in-game. Even a Sicilian too, it just lets you know what kind of, you're okay. You're okay. It's a strong opening. It's solid. So king e7. I wonder what happens on knight takes g7. I guess the knight just doesn't get out, but how does he trap the knight is the question. She didn't take on g7, but I'm very curious to know, like, how do you trap this knight? King f8 runs back into this, and the knight, you can't really move anything. It's kind of weird, but she didn't take the knight. She didn't choose that. After king e7, knight to c5, king d6, knight d3, check, and g5. So we just start making some more progress here. Bring the bishop around town here. Bishop d7, knight c5, take, bishop c6. Yep, finally get this bishop to c6. Look at it. If you notice in the French, black has a lot of pawn clusters. They get a lot of pawn clusters and a lot of like strong pawn formations. And looking at this, this is great. f4 or g3 and then f4 follows. Take. Now this looks good, but this can easily be stopped. The problem is black's has a legit pass pawn. This is a real pass pawn. And the person in an in-game, the object of the in-game, basically most times, is the key. The key is, like, of course, checkmating the king, but really most ideas are around who can queen a pawn. And that starts with who has a pass pawn. And that actually is very good here. Black has a pass pawn. Bishop g2, king here, I'm out of the way. No trades, take a pawn, and then we go bishop d7. Bishop d7, what a move. Because she is in some trouble at this point. King e3, king e5. Bishop takes c2. King takes f3. Wait, how? Oh, this was a time game. So she actually was winning this game at the end here. But this, it just says she lost on time. Really? Yeah, I knew this was kind of weird over here though. But back here, knight to g5. This move right here, this was a very solid end game that was definitely fine for the man. Definitely fine for him. You know, king e7 was fine. Knight takes g7, knight c5. You bring the king in. This is all correct. Check. And I think this move was even better first. Right here, if you put turn the evaluation on, actually right here, hold on. Where are we at? Yeah, he just messed that up. Going back right here. So let's see what the eval says. G5. That's correct. Right now it's -1 right now, looking at this. So they're trying to figure out what to do though. Trying to figure. Let's say a random, not random. What did she make in the game? She played bishop f7. Okay, it's supposed to be check. He played bishop d7, c4. It's supposed to be f4. So black has an edge, but it's an endgame. And honestly, when do you really have an edge in an endgame with the black pieces? It just says a lot, right? So, you know, this is very easy to botch. You also have to remember you are playing humans here. And the humans that you will be playing, when you get to this kind of position, even if you do, or even if you don't, I mean, it's going to be a very solid position, regardless of that. So that's the last game there. Still ended up in a very complicated French, I would say, because the Tarrasch is definitely different. And after knight to d2, pawn takes, queen takes, this is a completely different game. Completely different. But you don't have to live with the isolated pawn. And that's something that you can keep note of. What if you exchange the knight with bishop to e3? I was back here. Bishop e3. Where is that? Exchange the knight. Bishop e6? I think that's what you meant. I don't know. I don't know where you at. What if you exchange the knight with bishop e3? Bishop e3 is here, but I think you meant e6. Sophia says, no, the endgame? You mean back here? Back here? Like taking this? Taking this. I think that's what you mean. The problem with taking this is that this is attacked, but also now you got this pawn is called a pawn freeze, is what they call it. This one pawn freezes two of them. That's from Dvoretsky's in-game manual. But one pawn freezes two of them. So now you're in trouble because this bishop, when it gets here, or if it ever gets here, you have a problem. And a bishop versus knight in this kind of in-game, it's not closed. Not many weaknesses for black to hit because the knight got to jump around and do what I have to do. You might be in some trouble. So I probably wouldn't have taken that either, honestly. Probably wouldn't have taken that either. So that's the French defense. Those are 3 games there. Now I'll take a few games, a few blitz games. You can send me a challenge. Make sure you play white so I can play the French against you guys. And we'll play a few games of the French. I'm on Lichess right now on the iChess.net account. Just send us a challenge. You can play white, and we'll play the French, and I'll play some games against you right now before we close this thing out today. And say, man, I asked myself the same. I asked myself the same. Huh? Can I play you? Hassan? Yeah, man, send me a challenge. I'm on Lichess right now, waiting for you. iChess.net. Send a blitz challenge. Send a blitz challenge. White. You have to play white so we can play the French today. That's the theme. What is the username? iChess.net. iChess.net is the username. iChess.net. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. We're going to play a few games here and then talk about something in the end. I have a surprise for you guys. So let's see what happens. What is the username? iChess.net. Waiting for you, buddy. And there we are. 3-2 from Micro Chess. Here we go. Here we go. And let's play a French, guys. So e4, e6, automatic. e4, e6 stuff. Let's see what he does. So it's supposed to be d4. Or maybe not. He's taking his time here. Let's see what happens. d4, d5. Right behind you. Knight c3. Look at him. Knight f6. I'm going to knight d7 and c5. Same stuff. We just saw Damian Lemos play this. Just saw him play this game. Literally. Bishop e7. I'm going to just play his game. I'm going to play what Damian Lemos just played. Okay? Castle. That's what he played. And then he played a6 and b5. I'm playing Damian Lemos' game. Now, I'm actually going to play c4. This is different because he castled. He castled queenside. So now a6 and b5. Downloads PNG. BGN. Yeah. Download the PGN. I'm going to go b5 right now because I can. Knight takes, queen takes. Or knight takes, queen b6, knight to c3, rook b8. Push the pawn, bishop a3 check. Yeah, he should be in trouble after queen b6. Queen b6, knight c3, rook b8. It's going to be pretty rough. Pretty rough. And if you notice, I am so safe over here already. I'm so safe. There's nothing going on. Absolutely safe. So knight d6, that's an interesting move. Interesting. I think that was pretty good. I'm going to go rook b8 anyway. Try rook b8. Might go here. See what he does. Rook to b8. He goes c3. Okay, so that's a good move. What if I take this and go queen a5? Or is there anything better? Takes knight of 6. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's put this knight in the center. Be able to take something later. Put this bishop on d7. Bring this one around. So this is the plan here. Boom, 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 boom. And there you have it. And there you have it. h6 first. Nice strategy. Thank you so much. Thank you. 94. So I think interesting. I think if he would have kept the knight there, it would have been very interesting. I think I would have been okay though. Pawn takes in g6 followed by king g7. And then bishop d7. Yep. I'm gonna just go knight a5 just to scare him. I'm not sure if he understands what's going on yet. And I'm gonna go bishop d7 and a4. Because this is a move that you pay attention to. You like, it's one of those moves that you gotta look on that side of the board and waste some time. Okay, so bishop d7 and bishop a4 seems correct. Pawn takes, bishop a4 takes. I could also play g6 in the end. Take the pawn, he says. And here we go. Bishop a4 and g6. My next plan, knight takes c3. I'm actually going to take this first though. I also have king h7 and rook to g8 to help me if I really need to. If I really need to help. If I really need it, I always have king h7 and rook g8. He's sweating, says Blyaf. He's sweating, big fella. He's sweating. He goes, knight g5. He thought a while. He thought about it. What is he doing? I don't even know, honestly. Is he taking on e6? I really want to take this. There's a lot going on here. Okay, let me see. Do I take on g5 or take on d1? He takes on e6. And then what? Bishop c2 or bishop f3? That's about to be crazy. It's about to be crazy. And he did go for it. We are happy with trade. That's right. Look at you already learning how to play the French defense. That's right. We love trading pieces. Okay, and I'm just going to take the rook. It's just a piece. And come back and take this one too. Okay, that's a no. Take the knights and go king h7. And now my king's on h7 and I'm feeling good about life here. I'm going to take that one too. Everything's defended. He's moving fast now. I could just get everything off the board right now. I could do that. Queen takes, rook takes. How do I like... I mean, I'm up so much material. I'm up so much material. I'm just going to do this because I'm up so much. I'm still up like 5 pieces after trading 2 of them. I just take everything. I'm just winning. Simplify. Simplify. Do I have a cool move anywhere? I guess I don't. No cool moves. Dang, no cool moves? That sucks when you don't have any cool moves. Now we do. Perfect. Oh my goodness. Found a cool move. Thank you so much for the game, Micro Chess. We in here. What's up, Ivan? We in here. That's right. That's right, Ivan. Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the stream. Let's go. All right, guys, a lot of challenges in there. Unfortunately, we cannot take all of these challenges. So that's so cool. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. We are not done yet. This is the last portion right here. This is the wrap up. This is the close right here as we close it out. So here we go. Check this out. Now, we covered a lot today. It was very fun. It was awesome. You play with the French defense. Now, this is what I have for you guys. This is what I put together for you. And I was able to get some percentages off and some other stuff just to give you guys a huge bonus today. Check this out. This is what you're getting for sticking around today. This is what you're getting. The complete French defense for tournament players. But it's not just for tournament players. It's for anybody. So if you ever want to play a tournament, you can play this. This is the complete French defense, okay? Included in there is Mr. Damian Lemos, like we covered today, okay? The Deep Dive Volume 15, the French defense. Chapters 1 through 5. This is all he'll be covering in that. Now, checking out the next one is Mr. Libizuski. Libizuski, his name is like that, right? Fabian, Grandmaster. The Bulletproof French Defense is included in this bundle. And then the last thing is the 80-20 Tactics, the Tactician, Mr. Michal Marin, Grandmaster, okay? That's all included in today's French Defense bundle, right? Now, who is this going to work for? If you're a beginner player, if you're a club player, if you're a tournament player, if you're a chess player, if you play any kind of chess, maybe even checkers, okay, it's for you. This is who it works for, right? Now, okay, you get a bonus. You get a bonus just for sticking around today. Not many of you, not many, and I can't give it all, but it is a bonus. The first 50 to get the course today get an estimated short training schedule based off of your rating up to 2200. So whatever your rating is up to 2200, I'll give you an estimated short training schedule on what you should be doing, how much time you should be putting in based on your rating, and where you should be putting in that time. Just send me an email after you get the course, and I will send that over to you, personalized just for you. Here's the email, james@ichess.net. Now, check it out. What is today? What do we have at the end? The complete French defense bundle for tournament players, for everyone, actually. It's usually a $300 value because you got Damian Lemos, you got Mr. Libizuski, and you got Michal Marin in there, okay? That's $300. You know, that's $100 per hour just to sit there with them. It's a $300 value, okay? So it's over 32 hours of work in here, and you're not going to pay the $140, but you're going to pay, just because it's today, $69.98. That's how it's going to be. Email me right after so that I can get you that course, or I can get you the schedule, the training schedule. But there is a link right under the video right now, right under the video. First 50, no problem. First 50, no problem. So that's today. Hope you guys had a great time today. I'm National Master James Canty III. Make sure you follow. My social medias are right under me, actually. Right under me. The Twitch is right there. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff is the same. Make sure you send me an email. Write it down if you'd like to. james@ichess.net. Send me the email. Send me an email. First 50, I'll absolutely give you a training schedule based off the 2200 of what you should be doing. Thanks, James, says Sufain. No problem. Yes, thanks. Thank you, Canty, says Patrick. No problem, guys. No problem. Get on that ASAP because it's not going to be around for a very long time at all. This was incredible. Thank you. No problem, Feech. Thanks, James. Much appreciated. No problem. Follow Canty. All right. All right. Yeah, guys, make sure you click the link right under it, and I'll be waiting for you in the email, send you over that stuff. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I hope you learned a lot about the excellent French defense. I'll see you guys on the next one.